My name is James Toomey, and I'm a programmer here at the Torrance Police Department. I wrote the UHS mapping app as a way to bridge an information gap that I noticed was occurring for our first responders. These days, police and fire have excellent access to mapping information on their smartphones using Google Maps. Unfortunately though, when they respond to a scene, they don't have any information from Google Maps that tells them about the place they're responding to. For example, if they're responding to an oil refinery, a hospital, a school, they don't have any information about the floor plan of those places or the dangerous chemicals that they might encounter. I wrote the app using the Apple iPad because it's the best tool for use in the field. They're lightweight, they can be ruggedized with cases, they're touchscreen so they're great if you're wearing gloves, and they have access to the internet. The application stores a list of website URLs for any city, business, or location that wants to share its floor plans and diagrams with first responders. When you click on the map button, the app visits each of those websites and retrieves push pins for the various locations that they've set up. Here in my example, I have pins for 3 cities: the city of Torrance, the city of Redondo Beach, and the city of Manhattan Beach. You can set different colors and pin styles for each data provider to distinguish between them, as I've done here. Click on a pin to see the description of the location and a button for that location's documents. The documents listed here give us a wealth of information about the location. This documents list can store as many documents as are available. The more the better. You can even have links to video files, so it's very flexible in what site info can be provided.
Check for a suspicious subject loitering in front of the Pacific Sunwear Del Amo Fashion Center, 3525 Passion Way. Subject is described as a white male, 40 years, wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Pacific Sunwear will be store number 402.
According to our mapping program, it's door 402. It should be right through that entrance on the right-hand side, 4 stores down.
Sounds good. Oftentimes we're dispatched to calls where we need further information, especially for big locations or big buildings with several offices inside, such as the mall here in Torrance. We also have ExxonMobil and Toyota. Oftentimes we're forced to rely on our cell phones to get that information, but with this program, we'll be able to see a diagram of the interior of certain buildings, which will help us a lot and keep us safe ultimately.
Here's another example. This time, let's click on the Manhattan Beach School District's warehouse, which is outside Torrance boundaries, but close enough that Torrance Police and Fire may need to respond to it. When we click here, we see not only a diagram showing the warehouse's access points, but also a dangerous chemicals list, so first responders know before entering this building what they're facing. Let's talk about the 2 components to app setup: setting up the servers that provide the data, and setting up the app to retrieve that data. To set up the servers, any public or private entity that wants to provide their data will do so on their own servers where the data will remain. This is called decentralization and is much more flexible than having all the data on one central server where an administrator must continuously manage it. The good thing is you don't need to be highly technical in order to add pictures and documents to your location. Any employee or business manager who has access to the location website can do so. Even first responders can work with employees to upload information that might be useful to future first responders, such as pictures or floor plans. If an agency wants to secure the data that's on their website with a username and password, that's no problem. They can do so by password protecting the directory that contains the data. Now we have these cities, schools, and other destinations that have data ready for first responders. But how do we tell the UHS mapping app to show this data? Within the UHS mapping app, we click the settings button, then add the web address that the agency has set up. As long as the file has been set up correctly and the links are valid, you'll see the pins they set up. You can also change the color and style of the pin and put a username and password if the web address is password protected. I enjoy developing this app because it addresses a need that police and firefighters have expressed again and again. While mapping systems like Google Maps are amazing, they don't provide the crucial data that first responders need. This app bridges that gap nicely and it's easy to use. My name is James Toomey of the Torrance Police Department, and thanks for your consideration.
I'm Torrance Police Chief Mark Matsuda. When a critical incident is taking place, first responders need detailed information about a location. This mapping application would enable police officers to see the physical environment, view maps and photos, and make tactical decisions before they enter the scene and put their lives at risk. On behalf of the men and women of the Torrance Police Department, I want to thank you for your consideration of our submission for the National Institute of Justice's Ultra High Speed Applications Challenge.